Hello everyone, there's a moment in life when everything seems to break at once. The silence after a dream collapses. The emptiness when the people you trusted disappear, the sting of failure, of rejection, of loss, we've all felt it. And in that moment when your world is quiet and you feel forgotten, it's tempting to stay down, to believe the whispers that say you're done, you're finished, you'll never rise again. But here's the truth. Silence isn't the end. It's the calm before the roar. Because your comeback story hasn't even started yet. See, the world loves to cheer for the winner at the top, but it forgets the warrior climbing back up from the bottom. And that's exactly where you find your power, not when everything is easy, but when it's hard. When no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when you're rebuilding your strength in the dark, that's where the greatest comebacks are born. Quietly, relentlessly, fearlessly. We live in a time where people celebrate the highlights but overlook the hustle. They only see the success, not the sweat. They hear the applause but never hear the silence that came before it. But your story, it's not going to be quiet. No, your story is going to shake the room. Because when you rise this time, you won't tiptoe in. You won't whisper your return. You'll walk in with fire. You'll walk in with scars that speak of survival. You'll walk in with a purpose so powerful that the same people who doubted you will have no choice but to pay attention. This is not about revenge. It's not about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about showing the world, and more importantly, yourself, that the fall didn't break you, it built you. That you're not just back, you're better, bolder, and louder than ever. And so I ask you, what if your comeback could be so powerful, it commands the room the moment you step in? What if the very pain that tried to silence you becomes the drumbeat of your return? What if your rise inspires others to stand, to fight, and to believe again? This is your moment, not the moment you were handed, the moment you created, out of grit, out of heartbreak, out of pure, unshakable determination. Welcome to your comeback. And this time, don't just return quietly. Make it so loud, it shakes the room. Everyone wants to talk about the comeback, but no one wants to talk about the fall, about the pain, about the quiet nights when you stare at the ceiling, wondering how everything slipped away, about the tears no one sees, about the moments when hope is a stranger and your confidence feels like a distant memory. But let me tell you something real. There is power in the fall. Not the power that feels good or looks pretty. No, the raw, uncomfortable, soul-stripping kind. The kind that forces you to face who you are when everything you leaned on is gone. And if you can embrace that fall instead of running from it, you'll unlock a level of strength most people never reach. See, the world teaches us to be ashamed of failure, to hide our mistakes, to only show the highlight reel. But that's not real life. Real life is messy. It's full of stumbles, heartbreak, detours, and dead ends. And the truth is, those low moments teach you more than any victory ever could. When you fall, when you truly hit the bottom, you're given two choices: stay there and rot in bitterness, or rise and rebuild. But before you rise, you must own the fall. Feel it, learn from it, understand why it happened. Because pain doesn't come to punish you, it comes to prepare you, to mold you, to sharpen your edge. Think about a diamond. It's not found sparkling on the surface. It's buried deep in pressure and darkness. Same with you. Your best version is born in struggle, not ease. And that's why embracing the fall is step one to a comeback that shakes the room. Not ignoring it, not denying it, not pretending it didn't hurt, but standing in the middle of the wreckage and saying, this isn't the end of me, this is where I begin again. Some of the world's greatest success stories started with failure. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he created. They all fell, and they all could have quit. But instead, they used the fall as fuel. They didn't just get up quietly, they came back with a fire so loud the world had to listen. But before their noise came their silence. Before their return came their reckoning. That's where you are now, or maybe where you've been. In the silence. In the in-between. In the ache. But don't curse this part of your story, because the comeback starts with clarity. And clarity is found in the fall. This is when you learn who's real, what matters, and what you're made of. Sometimes life knocks you down just to show you what you're capable of getting up from. And when you're lying on the ground with nothing but your breath and your will left, that's when the fire is born. Not a flame that flickers, but a fire that refuses to die. A fire that says, I will rise. Not the same as before, but stronger, smarter, and ready. So instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because once you see your fall as a classroom, instead of a graveyard, you'll start building, not burying. And when you do rise, it won't be with ego. It'll be with experience. You'll walk back into the room not to impress, but to inspire. You won't need to speak your comeback. People will feel it when you enter. Remember this, a fall is not failure. Staying down is. You don't need to be perfect to rise. You just need to be willing. So embrace your fall, own it, learn from it, because it's not your ending, it's your introduction. And the louder your fall echoes in your soul, the more powerful your rise will be. Get ready, because this comeback, it's gonna shake the room. Every comeback begins with a decision not to be who you were, but to become who you were always meant to be. The fall may not have been your choice, but the rise, that's 100% up to you. And it doesn't happen in one big leap. It doesn't happen in a viral moment or a miracle overnight. It happens in small, gritty, relentless steps. One day at a time, one habit at a time, one belief at a time. The truth is, we often think rewriting our story means waiting for some massive transformation. But in reality, the most powerful comebacks start in silence, in solitude, in the discipline of daily effort that no one claps for. The world may not see the changes right away, but you will. And eventually, so will they. Let's be honest, after the fall, doubt creeps in. You start questioning everything. Your worth, your purpose, your identity. You wonder, can I really bounce back? Am I even capable of more? But here's what you must understand. Your story isn't over unless you stop writing. And guess what? You hold the pen now. Not your past. Not the people who walked away. Not the ones who doubted you. You. So start small. Start simple. Wake up 1 hour earlier. Read one page. Make one promise. And keep it. Train one more day. Choose the better habit. Speak kindly to yourself. Fight for progress, not perfection. Because comebacks aren't about what you lost. They're about what you're building now. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by how far you have to go. But don't get caught in the trap of comparison. You don't need to run someone else's race. This is your path, your pace, your process. And every step forward, no matter how slow, is proof that you're not finished yet. Think of the mind as the battlefield. That's where the real war begins. And if you want to change your life, you have to start by changing your thoughts. You have to speak life over your future. Replace I can't with I'm learning. Replace I failed with I'm growing. Replace I'm broken with I'm rebuilding. This is the season to take your power back, to stop waiting for approval or permission. You don't need a perfect plan to move forward. You just need the courage to start, again and again and again. That's what separates those who rise from those who stay stuck. Relentless effort. Even on the days when motivation is gone and fear is loud, show up anyway, especially then, because discipline is the bridge between dreams and results. And when you show up for yourself consistently, you're not just changing your habits, you're rewriting your identity. You go from someone who once fell, to someone who rises, from someone who gave up, to someone who refuses to be defeated. And here's something powerful: as you rebuild, you begin to attract what you've become. The world starts to reflect your inner change. Opportunities appear. People notice. Doors open, not because you were lucky, but because you kept moving when it was hard. So rewrite your story with intention. Let every step, every choice, every late night and early morning become a line in your comeback chapter. Don't erase your past, redeem it, use it. Let it add weight to your words, fire to your passion, and depth to your voice. Because someday someone's gonna look at your life and think, if they could rise after everything, maybe I can too. That's the power of the rewritten story. It doesn't just change your life, it becomes a light for someone else. So keep going, keep building. No matter how long it takes, no matter how quiet it feels right now, your comeback is being written, one step at a time, and soon the world will hear it. Let's talk about the doubters, the people who laughed when you fell, who whispered behind your back, who said they'll never make it. The ones who saw your lowest point and assumed it was your final chapter. Let's be honest, nothing cuts deeper than being counted out. The words, the smirks, the silence, they stay with you, and it's tempting to want to respond with fire, to argue, to prove them wrong with words. But here's the truth. Real comebacks don't shout. They work, they grind, They show up, and when the time is right, they explode so loudly that even your silence demands attention. Your actions will always speak louder than your critics ever could. See, when you're in the rebuild phase, putting in work day after day, with no applause, it feels like no one sees you. It feels like your effort doesn't matter. But that's exactly when it matters most. Because while others are watching, waiting for you to fail again, you're laying a foundation brick by brick. A foundation so strong, no rumor, no lie, no laugh can shake it. And here's what's powerful. When you truly commit to growth, you stop caring about proving them wrong. You focus on proving yourself right. You stop looking sideways and start looking forward. You stop performing for approval and start living with purpose. Because there's no better response to doubt than unshakable discipline and undeniable progress. Think about it. The loudest statement you'll ever make is walking into a room they never thought you'd step into again. It's showing up when they expected you to stay down. It's winning silently, letting your results do the talking. That's the kind of power that doesn't need an introduction. That's the kind of energy that shakes the room. And yes, there will still be voices trying to pull you back. You've changed, they'll say. Don't get your hopes up, they'll whisper. You're just lucky, they'll assume. Let them talk, because the more focused you are on your path, the less time you have to explain yourself. Growth doesn't need defending. Excellence doesn't need to argue. Instead of clapping back, climb back. Instead of reacting, rise. Instead of feeding the noise, feed your vision. Because in the end, it's not about revenge. It's about redemption. It's not about embarrassing your doubters. It's about inspiring your reflection. To be able to look in the mirror and say, I didn't quit. I didn't shrink. I didn't become bitter. I became better. And here's the part that will surprise you: when you do rise, when you finally succeed, some of those same doubters will try to come close again. Some will act like they always believe. Others will stay silent, unable to look you in the eye. Let them. You don't need their validation. You've already won, because the real victory was never about them. It was about the version of you that you fought to become. When the world doubted you, you didn't fold. You forged. When they expected you to break, you built. And now, you don't need to shout. You don't need to prove. You walk into every room with the weight of your journey, the strength of your silence, and the fire of your focus. You're not here for applause. You're here for purpose. You're not here to impress. You're here to impact. You're not here to be accepted. You're here to become undeniable. So let the doubters watch. Let them talk. Let them remember every word they said when you were down. Because soon, your comeback will be so loud, so undeniable, so real, that their silence will be your soundtrack. And when they finally realize the strength of the person they once underestimated, it won't be because of what you said. It will be because of everything you did. Let your actions scream. Let your progress echo. Let your presence speak for itself. Because this comeback, it's not just loud, it's unforgettable. You've survived the fall. You've done the hard work of rebuilding. You've silenced the doubters, not with noise, but with undeniable proof. Now, it's time for the final phase of your comeback. It's time to own the room, not with arrogance, not with ego, but with presence, with power, with a walk, a voice, a look that says, I've been through the fire, and I didn't just survive, I transformed. Because when you rise after pain, you carry something different, something deeper, something no one can fake. It's not in your clothes, your title, or your success. It's in your energy, your spirit, your truth. You don't have to tell people what you've overcome. They'll feel it when you walk in. The pain that once tried to break you has now become your power. The fear that once held you hostage has now become your fuel. That's what it means to own the room. You command it, not by dominating others, but by standing fully in who you are. People will feel your authenticity. Your scars won't make you weaker. They'll make you real. Your comeback won't just be inspiring. It will be magnetic. You'll light up rooms because you've been through dark. You'll speak with power because you've tasted silence. You'll lead with empathy because you've known suffering. When you own the room, you're not trying to be perfect. You're being present, fully, unapologetically, and powerfully present. But owning the room is more than just presence. It's purpose. It's taking everything you've been through and turning it into fuel to help others rise. It's recognizing that your comeback wasn't just for you. It was also for the person who feels like giving up, for the one who thinks they're too broken, too far gone, too defeated. Your comeback becomes a blueprint for someone else's breakthrough. So speak your truth. Share your story. Don't water it down. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. The world doesn't need more filtered perfection. It needs realness. It needs people bold enough to stand tall in their scars and say, yes, I've been there, and yes, I got back up. Own the room, not just with your story, but with your standards. You don't entertain what you used to. You don't tolerate what once broke you. You walk with boundaries, with vision, with self-respect. You've seen what it's like to be empty, and now you protect your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. You've traded your excuses for execution, your doubt for discipline, your fear for fire, and now, everywhere you go, you bring light, you bring power, not because everything is easy, but because you faced the hardest parts of yourself, and you didn't run. You faced the fear, you walked through the storm, and now you're unstoppable. Owning the room is not about walking in like you own the world. It's about walking in like you own yourself. You know who you are. You know what you've survived. You know what you bring to the table. So you walk in with your head high, not because of pride, but because of proof. You walk in with confidence, not because of applause, but because of growth. You don't just take up space, you elevate it. Let the room feel your fire. Let it shake with your strength. Let every word, every step, every breath remind the world, you came back, you came stronger, and you came to leave your mark. You are not a victim of your past. You are a weapon forged by it. You are not the same person who fell. You are the force that rose. You don't just enter rooms now. You shake them. You've been through the storm. You've fallen. You've rebuilt. You've silenced the noise. And now you own every room you step into. But this isn't the end of your story. This is the beginning of the most powerful chapter you'll ever write. Because now you know what you're made of. Now, you've seen your own strength. Now, you've stopped chasing permission and started living with purpose. This isn't just a comeback. This is a declaration that you are not defined by your past, that your fall was not your failure, that your struggle was not your story's end, but the fuel for your greatest rise. You've walked through pain that could have broken you, but it didn't. You've heard the doubt, the laughter, the silence, but you kept going. You've stood face to face with fear and turned it into fire. And now, you walk with the power of someone who knows exactly what it costs to stand here. Someone who knows how to rise when no one's watching. Someone who knows how to win without needing to shout. But when you do speak, when you do rise, when you do return, let it be so loud that the world has no choice but to listen. Let it shake the room. Let it ignite others. Let it leave a mark so deep that silence can't erase it. Because you didn't come back to take part. You came back to take over, to lead, to inspire, to change the game. No, not for applause, but for impact. So wherever life takes you next, step into it boldly, step into it fully, step into it knowing that your comeback story has already begun, and it is more powerful than any failure behind you. Make your comeback so loud that it shakes the room, that it shakes the world, that it shakes you awake to everything you were born to become. This is your moment. Make it echo. Thunk.